Oh my God. For weeks now. Weeks. This has been the profile I've been wanting to do. But for some reason, I can't seem to get any Geomaglasses in because the store I ordered from on TCG Player just refuses to send them to me. It's been 3 weeks now and they're still not here. And then I get on the other day and I find out, oh, look, Kai's already let the secret out of the bag from WCC. And Chris has done his DP deck profile. So now I'm just super late to the party, but we're going to do it anyway. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mecha Fanboy Likes Card Games channel today. We're doing a Dimension Police deck profile. I'm just going to assume that you probably have seen Different Fights deck profile, because if you are interested in DP at all, you probably know who Different Fight is and you've probably seen that profile already. Kai from WCC, he also put out a DP premium deck list, and this one's kind of similar. Kind of frustrated because I wanted to get this out weeks ago and could have beat him to the gun, or beat him to the gun, jumped the gun, whatever, you get it. But whatever, we're doing it. Here it is. So the secret's out of the bag at this point. We're running the ride chain. It lets us run one grade 2. While I was building this premium deck and playing around with it, I just realized I hate grade 2s. Grade 2s are the worst card. They're the worst grade. The only thing they are good for is riding up. Other than that, I never want to see another grade 2 again, because especially in this deck, because with Geomaglass and Die Liner, our grade 3s do everything grade 2s can do, but way better. So I don't want to bother with any more grade 2s than I have to, so we're running the one grade 2. With that comes running the Enigman Flow starter. When you ride on it with Enigman Ripple, lets you search for wave. Because of that, we're running 4 Enigman Squall. It counts as Enigman Ripple, and that's really all it does in this deck. And I'm also only running 2 actual Enigman Ripples. Now, you might be thinking, hey, that's a little low. What are you doing? In my testing, which I have lost count of how many games I've tested so far, there have only been 3 games where I've missed one of these. And in one of those, I actually just drew into this naturally. So it's working for me. If you want to absolutely bump this up to full play sets of each, I wouldn't blame you. If I was going to do an official tournament and I was planning on playing this deck, I probably would too. But for right now, it's kind of a meme and I like it. Now that we've got the ride chain out of the way, we can talk about the big boys, our grade 3s. Our grade 3s are the heart and soul of DP, and so obviously that involves running a playset of Die Liner. If you're playing Dimension Police in any format, you're playing for Die Liner, you should know what this card does by now. It gets you a force gift. It checks your top 7, add I think it's a normal unit. Yeah, it's a normal unit. That doesn't matter though, because you're only going to be grabbing grade 3s probably, so that you can give him plus 20k in a crit. Then you're swinging for 3 crit. That's if you even use that skill. The only skill that actually matters more often than not is his plus 10k to our grade 3s, giving them shield, 10k shield, that is. This lets us be super offensive and super tanky, the perfect balance, the way force should be, I feel like. Next, we've got 4 Dizoris. When your Vanguard's 35k or greater, counter bless 1, tuck him into soul, give it plus 10k in a drive check. This is so good in premium. I don't think we're really running this much in standard anymore. I don't really play too much standard these days, and I especially don't play standard DP right now. But in premium, this is way too good. Giving your strides, especially your X Gallop that restands, giving that extra drive check so that you still have a drive check on the restand. Way too good. And if we end up having to ride this, it's not terrible because we still get our force gift, force 2. And then once we go into Geomaglass and we flip up a copy of Geomaglass, we're basically doing Die Liner anyway. Now, these are the kind of tech spots. This is just what I'm running. These can honestly be anything, but I'm very happy with these currently because when I was testing this deck, I was trying it out mainly just for the really high grade 3 count. What I realized is I really need grade 3 rear guards. I want to have grade 3 rear guards. They can intercept for like 20k shield. They're basically heal triggers or crit sentinels with intercept. It's way too good to not do. So for that reason, I'm running 3 copies of Die Roller and 3 copies of Sylvard. I'm really enjoying both of these. Sylvard especially, just to gain the extra crit. It's kind of fun because your Vanguard may not be at the right power for him to get his extra crit, but you check 1 critical trigger and then you just give the power to your Vanguard, give the crit to him, then they're gonna have to guard him no matter what because he's a 3 crit rear guard with 20k intercept. It's stupid. And then we've got Die Roller. Die Roller is basically just being run in place of a Die Dumper. Basically does the same thing, just doesn't retire himself when he gets to 10k. And since we're only running the 1 grade 2, we don't really care about getting the Die Liner skill on grade 2. If you want to do that, that's cool. It's what Different Fight does with his, but it's not what I'm doing. And last, but certainly not least, 2 Die Kaiser. If there is any way I can play Die Kaiser, I'm going to play Die Kaiser. This is one of the first competitive decks that I ever built when I played the game way back in 2013. This is one of my favorite cards, and if I can run it, I'm going to run it. And it actually kind of works. I rarely use it, but I like having it. It's kind of nice because both this and Die Liner, and I guess Geomaglass too, care about you having a lot of grade 3s. So if you're running a high grade 3 deck, why not slap in the 2 Die Kaiser? It's kind of nice just to be able to drop it, go into Die Kaiser Leon, and then sometimes you'll steal a game. It doesn't happen often. These can just as easily be Die Dragons if you want to run more grade 2s to be smarter with it. But for right now, I'm liking this. Now, we move on to grade 1s. We can't get away with running all grade 3s right now. The grade 1s we have access to have too much utility to not run them. So we're running a playset of Die Brave. Die Brave is really good. It's actually really good with Enigman Wave too, your grade 2 ride. Because Enigman Wave, if his attack is 14 before the attack step, if his attack hits, you draw a card. Die Brave, when your Vanguard attack hits, put it into Soul, draw a card. So you can have a really fun grade 2 play where you ride Enigman Wave, he's 10k on his own because obviously you'll probably have Ripple in the Soul. You call Die Brave, you give him plus 5k, he's 15, you boost this to 23, then all of a sudden you have a 23k Vanguard attack on grade 2 that if it hits, you're drawing 2 cards. Your opponent has to drop more than just a single trigger to no pass it. So a lot of times, if they'll debate over it, and then they'll drop a couple of cards. They'll drop like 2 cards in hand to stop you from drawing 2 cards, or they'll just let you take it, and then you draw 2 cards anyway. Or they try to risk it, go 1 to pass, and then you rip a crit, and then they're taking 2 damage, and you're drawing 2 cards. I like that play a lot. That is the only thing that's making me consider swapping out some of my grade 1s for some Die Dragons. The only thing is Die Dragon doesn't do the thing where he goes into Soul and you draw a card afterward. So for right now, Die Brave is always going to be really, really good. Like I said, if you want to, you can probably make room for more grade 2s. I'm not doing that right now. Next, Commander Laurel in Premium is just really good. You've got your X Gallop that you want to be getting to 80k as soon as possible. With Laurel, you can do that usually. You can just drop him, double your Vanguard's power, give it a crit, then you're swinging 3 crit, 5 drive check. It's stupid. It's really fun. It's really stupid. It's also really good if you decide to go into Stark. I feel like Different Fights made that painfully apparent by now. Lastly, I'm running 2 Go Biker. This is a flex slot. This can be anything. This can be those more grade 2s if you wanted. I just like it because are there other options you could run? Yes, you could run Quilt. Quilt doesn't quite do the same thing because you basically run this to turn on your power requirements. It kind of sucks that if you're on your stride turn, he'll stay rest, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna be like 80, 100k anyway, who cares? 8k is nothing in that instance. This is more for just turning on the Enigman Wave power so that you can have that on-hit draw, because drawing into more cards thins your deck thinning is deck winning, RTFC, other card game terms. Again, this could be Die Dragon, whatever. I thought about running Quilt, but Quilt costs a Counterblast. This deck is real greedy with Counterblast. Quilt also requires you to discard a card for the power. kind of goes against what we want to do. So there it is. On to triggers, we're doing an incredibly meme-worthy 12 crit. And then, of course, 4 heals. It's 12 crit. I initially didn't build this deck to be serious. I kind of just wanted it to be a meme, but then it started winning, and then it started being really fun, and so here we are. Obviously, you got your stride crits. This is honestly what you want to discard to stride instead of your grade 3s, because your grade 3s are going to have so much shield because of Dieliner and Geomaglass. Into Soul, plus 10k draw card crits. Kind of handy for getting you to your power requirements you need if you're just missing pieces. And, you know, the crit sentinels, feel free to run draw PGs. Absolutely can do that. I wouldn't blame you if you did. I just wanted to run 12 crit. There's also probably a realm where you can run Enigman Calm, the PG that recycles itself from drop zone. I would probably do that actually. I just don't have them. I used to, I don't know where they went. So until I find those or I buy more, just gonna stick with this. All right, now we're on to our strides. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. 4 Geomaglass, 4 X Gallop. I don't think I really need to explain these. These strides are the only ones you wanna be going into. This will probably be your first stride. It does so much. It can multi-attack. It can build a field. It can damage deny your opponent incredibly hard. It can toolbox to an extent. It's really good. And sometimes you can just first stride into it, get so much crit, and then if your opponent doesn't have a PG, they just die. It's really fun. And then, you know, X Gallop is 80k plus 1 drive check and a restand. And then you can make it even crazier with Dizoris. I can't tell you how many times I've had double Dizoris on field. Get him up to 6 drive checks, restand him, draw 2 more. It basically turns what was basically a wash into a +2. It's really good. It's really fun. This is the reason I should probably be running draw PGs in this deck. Moving on from there, we've got the 2 Daikaiser Leon. We're running Daikaiser in the main deck. We're gonna run the 2 Daikaiser Leon. Obviously, these are tech spots. These are flex slots. You can run Dynexus. You can run Bird. For all I care. You're probably never going to go into it. I just really like this. I really like Daikaiser. And I like being able to steal games out of nowhere because an opponent doesn't know what to expect. And then they drop 2 PGs, and then because we're running so many grade 3s, you just buy. And then you can give extra drive checks to Dizoris. It's just good, okay? Just don't sleep on Daikaiser. The one final Dimax, whatever, what is this? Final Dimax DX, your damage and I play. I think I've only gone into it like once or twice, but those times that I have, man, this card puts in so much work. Ideally, you want this to be like your second stride or your third stride, or maybe you've G-guarded a couple of times. This is just really good. It's multi-attack, it's power, it's crit, and it doesn't cost any resources. So everything you want to see, especially if you're being damage denied. Our 1-of Stark, honestly, don't go into it too often. Probably not necessary if you're trying to keep this deck budget for whatever reason. I don't think it's seen the board more than a couple of times because normally people die to Geomaglass or X Gallop long before I ever get to this. But you know what? It's kind of nice to have that, all right, we're done playing now, I win button. So, and then G guards, you've got your Dolphin, you've got your X Caravu, you've got your Go 5, you've got your Zeal. Pretty much the only one I really use is Go 5. It ends up being the biggest shield. That's probably the most often. And then it's usually Atlantis Dolphin just because he gets the biggest shield out of all of them. Sometimes I go into X Caravu to kind of like beef myself up throughout the turn, make guarding a little easier. I don't think I've ever once gone into Zeal. The fact that it costs a Soul Blast and a Counter Blast. Soul's usually not an issue. I've had rare times where it is. But the Counterblast it's hard to get through. This can be a Dismal if you want it to be. It can be a Rectome if you want it to be. Options are pretty wide there. DP I feel like doesn't have the best G-Guard, but these two, the Go 5 and your Atlantis Dolphin, they do pretty much all you want them to do anyway. So anyways guys, thank you for taking the time to watch this deck profile. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think it's dumb. I know it's dumb. It's a kind of a meme, but it's a meme that works, and those are the best ones. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe, like the video, and if you want to do me a favor, you can also check out my other main channel where I do other types of content. Just put up a video about Beyblade over there, so if that interests you in any way, check it out. I'll see you next time.